The Utah Utes came to Provo, Utah looking for revenge, and they went home without it. BYU wins a game that got a little scary late. What a rivalry game we saw in Utah.
You are Locked On West Virginia, your daily podcast on the West Virginia Mountaineers, part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
Guys, welcome back in. My name is Mountaineer Paul. I am your host. This is Locked On West Virginia, emergency edition, as we go late to cover the Holy War ending and what was just a wild day in college football altogether. Man, what a game we just saw in Provo that got a little wonky late. Pass interference calls at the end of the game. We didn't know what was going to happen, but it seems like obviously BYU held on, so that's a great thing. I was getting ready for the show, and I happened to be peeking down and saw that they finally got the onside kick, even though it looked a little weird there for a minute. This is obviously a huge win for BYU for a multitude of reasons. You know, what a game from Bear Bachmeier. It wasn't the best statistical performance, but he played so poised and so well. So poised and so well in this game. I think he grew up and became a star today against what is a very good defense. 13-22, 166 yards and a touchdown. LJ Martin, in my opinion, was the star of the game. Several key blocks in this game that sprung runners like Parker Kingston around the edge, as well as Bear Bachmeier on that just an amazing run at the end of the game where he just would not go down to put them ahead by double digits. Pretty crazy stuff, man. LJ Martin is a dude for sure. Obviously, you come away from this game absolutely giddy. Absolutely giddy. You pull this thing out. It was a very tightly contested ball game, two evenly matched teams for sure. Bear Bachmeier, I feel like, was the difference in the game. 11 rushes, 64 yards. He averaged close to 6 yards a carry. Parker Kingston had a couple carries for 16 yards as well. And also he led the team in receiving. Chase Roberts really only had one big play in the game, which resulted in a touchdown, but it was enough. It was enough for sure for the Cougs to win. I'll be, I went into this. I mean, there was a lot of people that picked Utah to win this game, and I felt like maybe I was in the minority on that coming in because it seemed like everybody and their mom picked Utah to win the game. I just felt differently, man. I feel like this is a team that's built for success. Utah is kind of bouncing back off of a bad year, and BYU's bouncing forward off of a really good year, minus the quarterback they had, and somehow they've leveled up even there. Although Retzloff, a better passer at this point in his career probably than Bachmeier, certainly doesn't have the heart, soul, and poise that a Bachmeier has shown. Like they said in the broadcast, they knew during camp that this kid was it, capital I, capital T. And he's shown that. And I think the future is really bright for him in Provo. You're going to have to pay him, but he's going to be worth it because next year he gets a full off season. He gets a full camp. He gets a full extra year under this offense. And Bear Bachmeier is going to be a scary, scary player going forward for the BYU Cougars, and showing just why he was a highly rated quarterback coming out. Obviously, on the Utah side of things, they really played a tough game, man. As much as because they haven't been the nicest to me, which I understand why. So it's kind of fun to dunk on them a little bit. But in all seriousness, I feel like Devin Dampier left it all out there for them tonight. He really put his heart and soul out there for them, and it showed. He did all he could do. I thought it was funny. Somebody had posted a stat. Let's see if I can find it really quick because it made me laugh because I went to look later in the game and just kind of checking in, on this guy. I wonder if he deleted it. He probably didn't. Here it is right here. BYU will be lucky to touch Dampier behind the line of scrimmage. O-Block has been living up to the expectations through the first 6 games of the season. 101st in rushing offense, first in tackle for loss allowed, which is only 3.17 per game, second in sacks allowed, first and lowest quick pressure rate. Just all these deep analytics. Like, can we just be honest? If you really want, if you've got a good football team, you can go and pick deep analytics to support whatever theory you really want. I think we all know that, right? Like, we know what matters. And I'm sorry, but lowest in quick pressure rate is not the first metric that I go looking for to decide whether somebody's really good or not. I get it. It means it's part of the havoc rate. It's like, how quickly do they get there? Yards before contact. Now that's one that I definitely pay attention to. But I thought it was funny. He said BYU would be lucky to touch him behind the line of scrimmage. They was there all day. So I said, well, this hasn't aged too well. And it didn't. Nobody replied to it, but I still found it to be pretty funny. And look, the BYU defense are the heroes of this game, if you want to say somebody outside of a Bear Bachmeier, right? Because they were in their face all night to hold this offense to what they did. And it's funny how in these 2-minute situations teams score like they do. BYU surrenders a touchdown late in this game that was just wonky. 2 pass interference calls, 1 in the end zone that really allows Utah to get more points on the board. But had it not been for that, you're holding this team to 14 points. That's freaking elite, man. I'm sorry. You just can't ask for more from your defense. As a matter of fact, you need to ask your offense to play a little better at that rate, right? But at the end of the day, 24-21, that's just where the sweet spot was going to be. If BYU won this game, the higher scoring, it favored Utah a little bit because of the inexperience with the rookie quarterback and all that. So it was right there on the sweet spot, obviously, for the Utes to lose the game. And I enjoyed watching this game. I can definitely say this rivalry is everything that I think the backyard brawl is as well. It obviously is probably a step ahead right now because both teams are good. When Pitt and West Virginia are good, I would say this is the level, what we saw tonight. It's a very similar level of energy, I guess is the best way to put it. My buddy Rich Hart is at the game. Jake, my buddy, was at the game. I was getting pictures from everybody. So I was really happy to see all you guys were able to leave with a happy face tonight. As I've just all of a sudden over the last few weeks got a second favorite team. I think there's nothing wrong with that. And I'll go ahead and I'll watch football all the time anyway. So why not cover this, right? I don't know if they have any defensive stats out there yet, but let's see. Total yards, you say you gave up 471. That's probably more than you wanted to give up, but a lot of that's garbage time. Utah trying to score at the end of the game. 471 still a lot, too much probably. I would imagine Jay Hill probably not happy with that. 244 passing, 227 rushing. Look, if you'd have told me before the game Utah had 244 passing, 227 rushing, my ears would have been like, I'd have pricked up. Like, that's not sounding great for BYU at all. But if you look at BYU, they were pretty balanced too. 368, 166 yards passing, and 202 on the ground. Obviously, yards per play, about a yard's difference between Utah and BYU. Both had, in the mid-20s on first downs. Both were decent on third down. Both were pretty rough on fourth down. And both had a similar number of total plays. Utah had a few more because they were at the end there. BYU sacks Devin Dampier 3 times. Bachmeier goes down twice. BYU had to punt the ball more. This simply comes down to red zone. You guys were better in the red zone. You guys were, you obviously put more points on the board. And that's really what it comes down to, man. And that sometimes that stat just, well, not the stat, but that aspect of the game gets overlooked. Obviously, turnovers played a factor in this game. The pick against Dampier late from, I want to say, was it Hall or Tanner Wall? Is that his name? Picked one off late. It was just such a huge play in the game. And then let's look here at let's see. Trying to find, the receiving for BYU obviously looking just above passing, right? I thought they would probably play a little better than this, but they did not. That's okay because LJ Martin and company really carried you guys on the ground today which was a good thing. I think that was exactly what the doctor ordered. Was you guys controlled the game for the most part, and man, the defense. You guys were bend but don't break tonight, and I think that is really what it needed. And then look here, man. I mean, how can you ask for more out of a punter in Vanderhaar? 212 yards, 42.4 average, and inside the 20 twice on 5 punts. That really helped you guys flip the field positioning to get yourselves ahead, because there was some chess moves going on here, right? There was some chess between both of these teams. Let's go to break really quick. We'll come back and we'll do another quick segment on this as BYU sends the Utah Utes packing in a game that I was, just to be honest, really wrapped up in. And I haven't been wrapped up in a game like that for quite a while. We'll be right back here on Locked On West Virginia. And this episode of Locked On West Virginia is going to be brought to you by Mazda. Mazda. We love talking about Mazda. And on this one, for those who want to believe it's not just about playing the game, it's about redefining it, there are moments to do more than just put points on the board. They move crowds, they move culture, and they keep moving the game forward. And this week's moment that moved the game forward it's got to be the Bear Bachmeier touchdown. Late in the game, it was an essential play. I think it was on third down. It wasn't on fourth down, was it? May have been on fourth down. I have to go back and look. Bear Bachmeier, they give him the call, and he just carries the entire Utah defender across the goal line for a touchdown. What was an incredible play. Probably the signature play of his career, no doubt, and may end up being one of the signature plays of his life now because of this. Because, I mean, you're literally beating your biggest rival and just what's an incredible play. So, when you follow what moves you, the unexpected is only the beginning. And just like there's more to every highlight, there's more to a Mazda vehicle. Today with Mazda, where you can move and be moved. And, of course, we can't forget about our friends at FanDuel. With FanDuel, it's one simple thing after another, as well as the NFL season is here. FanDuel has an offer you don't want to miss. Right now, new customers can bet $5. It'll make you holla, and you can get $300 in bonus bets. That's if you win that first $5 bet. That's right. You pick a bet, put down $5. If it hits, you get $300 in bonus bets to use across the app. Whether you're a casual fan or love diving into the stats, FanDuel makes this game day experience so much better. So what are you waiting for? Visit FanDuel.com to download the FanDuel app today, and you too can get started. It's segment 2. Let's crack open not a do. We got a Gatorade, though. Segment 2, let's crack a do. It's not really, look, I got the shirt and everything on. What does it say? I can't remember. Something about my blood type is Mountain Dew. I can only drink Diet Dew, and I'm out of Diet Dew. So big whoop. You want to fight about it? All right. So that's a great question, Scott. Why would you run it 3 times and then try to take a shot instead of kicking a field goal? I don't know. It's the clock manager. Listen, I will say this. Yes, there are some criticisms to come out of this game. Obviously, I think everybody could admit to that. Coach Sataki didn't have a perfect coaching performance, especially at the end of the half. I don't know what that was. You take 3 shots or at least 2 shots and then you kick it. But, it didn't cost you in the end. I mean, I get it. As a fan, you probably want to have this talking point. But I'm just not that guy that's going to criticize Coach Satake and them because you won the game. Every coach makes mistakes throughout a year. No coach has a flawless year. This is a tense, high rivalry where there's a lot of emotions. It takes a lot of critical thinking, and sometimes you make mistakes, right? Sometimes you're a little too conservative, and that's definitely can be said about Coach Satake there at the end of the first half. And yeah, I guess that's a great way to put it, Kurt. He got cute. He almost made a mistake, but look, let up a little bit, man. You guys won this game. If there's 10 math problems on the board, 9 are right and 1 is wrong, what do you choose to focus on? Focus goes, energy flows, right? What my focus goes into, my energy flows into, right? It's simple. So focus on the things that make you happy about this performance. You'll be a lot happier, right? I can, emotions are a choice. It's actually scientifically proven. After 5 minutes, unless it's traumatic, emotions become a choice. So, if I'm upset or angry over somebody that said something to me, I'm choosing to be there after a certain amount of time, right? Similar with this, right? Just choose to be happy about this win. You literally beat my version of Pitt in a game that was really good, and your quarterback shined on the biggest stage. And Robert Griffin III was pumping him up. He knows. He saw it. He knows what it looks like. Bear Bachmeyer is coming. Be happy about that. We don't have any quarterbacks. We played 5 so far this year. We literally have none. None, I tell you. It's bad in Morgantown right now. So trust me, I want to get on here and talk about something that makes me a little happier and my new friends in BYU. That's all. But I totally understand the criticism for Coach Satake at the end of the half. By the way, if you're a BYU fan and you're not subscribed, or if you're a West Virginia fan and you're not subscribed, or any other college football fan and you're not subscribed, please hit that subscribe button. We're close to 7,000, I think. That would make a big difference for me, as we gained a lot of you guys overnight. You guys just flooded me overnight. It was almost 2,000 you guys, and now I'm like, what do I do with all these great people? So I appreciate you guys so much. I honestly do. I haven't talked about it a lot to you guys as much as I have my fan base. I'm struggling with the balance because I want to do topics on you guys, and I also don't want to alienate my people because I'm a West Virginia fan first. I think you guys totally understand that. But I think I can cover you guys during your big moments and for big games and stuff. As long as I'm not doing the day-to-day topics every single day, I think I'll be okay. I'm trying to strike the right balance, though. But thank you guys so much for all the support. It really means everything. Even today, I got an email from somebody from Utah that's like, oh, my God, you're in the Deseret News. And I'm like, yeah. And they're like, oh, my God, you got a video that went viral. I'm like, yeah, I talked about Provo. It went viral because they're nuts, man. You talk good about Provo in a good way. And like you can even see it on X. There was a guy today that was like, man, it's my first time here. And he was like, I love it here. I see what people were talking about. And that thing had like 300 reposts. And he put it out like 6-7 minutes ago. I'm like, oh my God, these people love their Provo, man. Portnoy was in town. I did a video on that. Nobody watched it. I guess maybe that wasn't what you guys are interested in. There's also there's not a ton of you guys subscribe to me as well. So maybe that's a part of it. But this segment is supposed to be about the Utah Smack Talkers. They go home unhappy. I can't imagine being a Utah fan this week. Guys, they talk so much smack. So much smack. And I get it. It's a rivalry. You do that, right? But Lordy mercy, man. They went hard in the paint on it. By the way, Jack Kelly, Warrior, right? Like, I think that should be a T-shirt. Jack Kelly, Warrior. And it should be a photo of him trying to wrangle Dampier in with that shoulder brace on or something like that. So, yeah, I mean, he is a straight-up Warrior. He made play after play after play this afternoon and evening when he was really hurt. He did. And those are the kind of guys that go out down into your lore, right? 20 years from now, I'll remember like, oh, Jack Kelly, that's that mean SOB that decided to play after he dislocated his shoulder against West Virginia because we ran the same play. We ran the same play all day because it's the only play we could run. It's the only play we could run. We had quarterback draw, and it was working, baby, but that's all we had. We couldn't throw it to save our life. We went to Provo and got our asses whooped. So pardon my language. Is it okay is it still holy war? Oh, we got one more minute. So I said a bad word. Sorry. But in all seriousness, I've had fun. I started reading the Book of Mormon this week, by the way, guys, and I've enjoyed some of it. I'll in another post outside of the football, I'll tell you guys my takeaways from it. But let's go to one more break, and we will. Bears for real, right? I think that's a topic I want to cover. We'll just put a bow on everything, kind of sum everything up here right after the break. Oh, and this episode of Locked On West Virginia is going to be brought to you by our friends at Monarch Money. With Monarch Money, it's a simple thing for you guys. If you like money like I like money, go to Monarch, because most people can't name their financial accounts or even what they're worth, whether it's 401ks, properties, investments. When you don't have the full picture, you can actually end up leaving money on the table. That's right. That's why this is money for you. It's an all-in-one personal finance tool that brings your entire financial life together in one clean, easy-to-use interface on your laptop or phone. It's built for people with easy and busy lives. If you put off organizing your finances, Monarch Money is for you, and it does the heavy lifting as well. You can link all your accounts in minutes, see clear data visuals, and get smart categorization of your spending. Finally feel in control of that money, baby. So maximize your investments, increase your spending rate and savings rate, and easily renew finance with your partner and or financial advisor, keeping a clear view of your financial health week to week and long term. Don't let this opportunity slip by, guys. Head to Monarch Money. Make sure you do it. Locked On College is the code at monarchmoney.com for half off in your browser and your first year. That's 50% off your first year at Monarch Money with the code Locked On College. All right, guys, we are back here in segment 3. Thank you so much for joining in. So last call for this. I don't normally bring this up a lot, but I imagine there are probably a few more BYU people and West Virginia people possibly that are watching this that haven't subscribed. It does say 70 or 80% of the people that watch don't subscribe. So I would appreciate it if you moved your finger over just a little bit and hit that button for me. Just trying to get to 7,000, it would mean a lot to me. That's really all I care about. Thank you. Like the video as well. Okay, Bear Bachmeier. I know I brought him up a little bit in the beginning of the show, and if you're just getting in here, I think he showed a lot today. Obviously he's got to get better in some places. I think his accuracy, and it's all mechanics. It's nothing to do with his arm talent, really. Sometimes he drifts a little bit. Sometimes his feet aren't totally planted. Sometimes his hips are a little off. Sometimes, it's just a multitude of things that, as a high school quarterback who was probably more talented than everybody else, he didn't have to worry about. And these are observations I'm making just from watching him play. I don't know the history of him and what's been coached, so keep that in mind. But, Bear seems to me like a guy that his mechanics are still being refined in real time. Or at least, by refined, I mean doing the same things he's been taught at BYU over and over. So, yeah, that's going to be interesting, right? Because I think once he gets those things nailed down, the accuracy is going to spike, and he's going to be really tough to deal with. If he gets the pass game going, I don't know what people are going to do. He's going to be tough to deal with. He's tough. He's poised. He's very smart. He was able to go to Stanford. And I think there's a lot to love about Mr. Bear Bachmeier. And the games he's winning are games that you don't win at his age normally. You usually make a few more mistakes. I got to give the coaching staff a lot of credit, right? You have to give the coaching staff a lot of credit at BYU because this is not easy at all. I mean, to get a kid his age to play well, it's like, they play conservative sometimes, for sure. But I mean, I still think they open it up enough to where you guys are able to be successful. And Aaron Roderick is got to be a huge reason for that. Like, I'm assuming he's the quarterback's coach. At least that's what I remember hearing. I know he's your OC. Most of the time, those guys coach the quarterbacks as well. So, I just wanted to point that out, man, because the kid's playing really within himself, running the offense, and that's important. And if he's doing it now, just imagine what he's going to do. Like, there's a great example. Remember the jump that Retzlaff had from year 1 to year 2? I remember because he started his first game against West Virginia, and I went on record that day. As a matter of fact, I can probably find it for you. Let me see if I can. I went on record that day and said Retzlaff, in my opinion, was going to be a really good player. And I believed that at the time, and I still do. I still think he's a good player. But, it was obvious to me that he was a good player, right? And for whatever reason, yeah, there it is right there. So I'll show you guys real quick just to show you. So this is on November 4th, 2023. Retzloff has a ton of arm talent, right? And yeah, just got done checking out Retzloff, the Slovis replacement. He's interesting, more mobile than Slovis, and throws at quite a few different arm angles. Definitely a gunslinger type. Not an elite arm as far as strength, but it's not daggy. It'd be interesting how BYU uses him. And obviously, the jump he made from year 1 to year 2 was immense. And I do believe that Bear is going to make a similar jump, if not a bigger one, because he's more poised than Retzloff was. He's got about the same level of arm talent. And I would say obviously a better runner, although Retzloff was mobile. And then you factor in the poise aspect of that, like we just said. I just think Bear has a chance to be one of the best quarterbacks in the country next year as a youngster. And very rare do we see this happen to places. Like, it's rare to get a kid that's playing at a high level in his sophomore year. A lot of times it's, that junior year and senior year that you see him pop. I think this kid has a chance to be really good next year, which is scary for everybody, as long as he stays injury-free. And we're hoping that he does, except when, well, no, not at all. I mean, I don't want him to ever be injured, but hopefully he plays bad against West Virginia. So congratulations to the Cougs. I'm seeing a few Utah people come in here, and at least I think they're Utah people. They're congratulating BYU. Could be West Virginia people as well. I'm not 100% sure. But, yeah, this is a big game for you guys, man. I think, there was a lot of emotions tied up in this game that the fan bases around the country kind of got to see, right? They got to see for themselves just what makes this rivalry such a big deal. So if you're looking, let's look at some other player stats really quick before we bounce out of here, because there was a couple other guys that didn't get any love on the Utah side, especially. I think Daniel Bray really looked good today for Utah. I mean, that guy had a really big – I don't know if it was a coming out party or not necessarily. I noticed him before now, but they said on the broadcast a coming out party, 10 carries, 121 yards. Probably need to get him the ball more. I mean, how are you just now finding him out? Obviously, on the receiving side, I thought Ryan Davis played really well at times today for them. Dallin Bentley, I just don't think is utilized enough for them. And I don't know. I'm not an expert on Utah, but it definitely seems to me like they should. And then here's the thing. When Utah played West Virginia, Jackson Benny was on offense, and he was dangerous. Like, he hurt us bad. And on indoor, he's like their Parker Kingston, very similar. And they were using him on end rounds. They were getting the ball in his hands. He's fast. I think they're missing. I know they decided to play him one way. I think Utah's missing that guy, to be honest. I think he made an impact for them. He made big catches against us. Not that we're the same defense you guys are, but I definitely think 100% Jackson Benny should be playing offense for Utah, if you're asking me. I think that, did he play offense today? At least I didn't see him if he did. So Jared from Utah says, thank you, Mountaineer Paul, for being a friend to BYU and our fans, because you've been such an amazingly good sport. Since we beat you, I've become a West Virginia football fan. They're running up good sports. Well, thank you. Thank you. I appreciate that. I've learned to be a better sport over the years. I think, if you want me to tell you the truth, we're in year 7, and this is the worst 7-year stretch in program history, right? We're not used to losing in West Virginia. I know it seems like we haven't been good in a little while, but I mean, we've always been what you guys have been the last couple of years, right? Like, that's what we've been. We've always been that kind of team, like a Boise or somewhere like that kind of winning percentage. We're always in that 7 to 8 to 9. So, and then every once in a while we'll contend. And unfortunately, the Neil Brown experiment set us back bad. And I know this is about BYU, but if you'll hear me out on my soapbox really quick, we'll jump out of here. But, obviously West Virginia brought in 81 players. We know that. And I don't think a lot of us expected to lose our top 5 or top 4 running backs and quarterbacks, either. And on top of that, and then we find out we didn't spend $5 million of the dollars that we had for our revenue sharing cap. And the thing is how the fiscal years work. We found out we can actually use it next year towards next year's team, but I guess it's technically this fiscal year, which is an interesting play by us. I was asking, and I'm curious to know how you guys feel about this. This will be my last question. Somebody just said BYU still hasn't played anyone. They just played Utah. A pretty good team, man. So, okay. So, John, I appreciate that. I will read this because my ego was making me. But he says, Paul's a great football mind. Love your content. I appreciate that. So, obviously, when it comes to West Virginia, we didn't spend the $5 million. I want to ask you guys this. I do think we have some talent. You guys watch us in Provo. If West Virginia spends $5 million more, do you think we're a contending team or a team that's like 7 wins, maybe 8, 6? Or do you think it was smart of Ren Baker and company to wait until next year to spend the $5 million? I would love to know your answers on this. If you don't mind, let me know in the comments as well as in the chat, because I am struggling with it. I just wonder. We have the worst offensive line in the sport. You could spend $3 million and get a good offensive line. You could spend $5 million and get an elite one, like something like what you in Utah have or better. And I'm struggling with it, because I know next year could be really good because we're going to have a lot of money to spend. Like we're going to have like close to what Texas Tech had, I think. From all intents, from everything we're hearing anyway, we can expect to be close to what Texas Tech spent this season. Now, they're going to up it, and so are you, and so are others. But we think we're going to be in the top 3 or 4, spending maybe 5 coming into the next year. And I'm just curious, what would you guys do? Do you think that $5 million was best spent now or next year? Just let me know. Yeah, and that's the thing, Pervy. Is it Pervy? Perky. Yeah, I hate that it's become about money too, man. I definitely do. It sucks. Yeah, I agree. $5 million is an enormous amount for sure, no doubt. But yeah, overall, guys, I'll just say I enjoyed my time watching the game tonight. I'm happy BYU's in first place, or are they tied for? I have to go look. Let's look at the Big 12 standings really quick. And then we'll jump out of here. I know obviously Tech lost today. So, all right. So let's pull over the standings here. Boom, boom. All right. So yeah, BYU's number 1. So that's great, right? 7-game winning streak. How about that? I still think Texas Tech is definitely right there with you guys as a team to beat. They lost 1 game, but surely to God they were going to lose 1. They've had a tough schedule. I mean, if you look at Texas Tech, who they played, it's been pretty tough schedule so far, I think, hasn't it? They played Utah, they played Houston, they played Kansas, they played Arizona State. That's a pretty tough schedule. Houston's 6-1. Utah, obviously, you guys just saw how good they are. They're very good. They're not – I mean, it's like you guys are almost dead even, right? It wasn't like you're a ton better than them. You're just a little better than them. If you were at Utah tonight, could have went the other way. I think a lot of people would admit that. They dominated Kansas as a good football team, and then lost to Arizona State today, who is the defending champs. So I do think you have to still consider Texas Tech. Nobody gets through a season undefeated, very rarely. So I would say that Texas Tech is still in the conversation. They're going to drub Oklahoma State. They're going to get back on track. They'll probably have a tougher time with Kansas State on the road, but should win. And then it sets up College game day again in Lubbock, possibly. If game day doesn't go to that game, they're crazy. That's the game to go to, is it not, guys? How can game day deny BYU Texas Tech if you guys stay undefeated? They can't. It's impossible. It's impossible. All right, guys. I'm going to bounce, but I would love to stay and talk to you guys all night. Big win for the Cougars for sure. I don't want to step on Jake or anybody else that's doing a show after the game's toes. So I'll let you guys jump out of here and go find. I think I saw John Kurtz was live. I don't know if Jake's is live yet. So thank you. But make sure you subscribe before you go. Like the video. Share it out for me if you can. Like, click if you copy and paste the link up in the www bar. I forget what it's called. And then just paste it to somewhere and then, like Facebook, X or somewhere. I'd like to get a couple shares out. I would appreciate it. And that's all I'm asking for, guys. And I'll see you guys on the next one. Hope you have a great rest of your weekend as you guys are winners. That's all that matters. Texas Tech loses, BYU wins first place. There's only one team in first place. That's BYU as they beat Utah in a barn burner, baby. This is Mountaineer Paul. I'm going to be signing off, but I have to tell you, don't forget to always cue those country roads, and we'll see you tomorrow.